Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of 1 Timothy, and I got up to chapter 5. Presbytero me epiplexes, alla paracale hos patera, neoterus hos adelphus, prospeteras hos materas, neoteras hos adelphas, en passe hagnea. So the main verb here is from epipleso. We've got a subjunctive here with may used as in place of an imperative, so it's a prohibitive thing. Epipleso is literally to strike, to attack physically, perhaps almost lay a hand on. It could also mean attack verbally as well, but it's literally to strike. So perhaps do not lay a hand on an old man, but paracale, another imperative, exhort, understand him as a father, and then we got to supply the verb again, exhort young men as brothers, older women as mothers, young women as sisters, in all hagnea, purity. We had that hagnea earlier in this book. Keras timar tas ontas keras. So honour the widows. This is from Kera, a widow. Honour widows, literally the truly widows, the ones who are truly widows. Ontos is an adverb here, formed from the participle from the verb to be. So the ones who are being, we would say truly widows. So again, timao is an imperative, so honour the widows who are truly widows. Eide tiskera tekna e ekgona, or enkona, eche, manthanetos san proton ton idionoikon, eusebein kai amoibas apodidonai, tois pro gonois. But if some widow, main verb here, has children, or ekgona, well, probably here descendants, often rendered as grandchildren. So if she has children or grandchildren or descendants, let them learn, and this must be referring back to the tekna. So even though it's new to plural, we've got osan, which is a plural imperative. So let them learn firstly to show respect or show reverence to their own house, and to give requital, amoibas, to give back, to give requital, or perhaps give in return, another way of taking this expression, to their parents, the progonois. Tutoga est in hup odekton enobion to theou. We've seen this one before. It's from hupo, and then the verb underlying this is dekamai, to accept. So for this is acceptable before God. Hei de ontos kera kai memonemene eilpiken epitheon kai prosmene tais diesesin kai tais prosukos nuktas kai hemeras he de spatalosa zosa tethneken. So she who is truly a widow and has been left alone, that is, she's got no one to look after her, having been left alone, this is from monoo, perfect passive participle. This is a perfect from el pisdo. She hopes on God, and she, well, prosmeno, literally she waits with her requests and her prayers by day and by night. Slightly awkward expression there. Sort of she waits on God, I think is for the prosmeno here. So she has hoped in God, and she waits on God with prayers and with supplications or requests connected with deamai, the verb to ask for something, and with prayers by day and by night, genitive of time during which. But the one, this is the widow who, now this is some funny participle here. It's from spatalao, if you're looking it up. It's very rare. It occurs in the Septuagint, but is a very rare word, only here, I think, in the New Testament. It means to be self-indulgent or pleasure-seeking. So, but the woman who is alive, the woman who is pleasure-seeking, and we get this combination here, sort of, although she is alive, she is dead. She has died. Perfect. This is from Thanasco. You normally see apothanasco, which is a compound. You only see Thanasco generally in poetry in that form, but you do get the perfect of Thanasco without the apo in later Greek and in the New Testament. So this is a perfect from that Thanasco root from apothanasco. So the one who is pleasure-seeking, although she is alive, she has died. Kai tauta par angele hina an epileptoi osin. And announce these things in order that they might be, subjunctive from the verb to be. We've had this one before in this book. It's alpha privative plus nu, and then epi and the lemp from lambano. So impossible to bring anything against is the sense of it, and hence irreproachable. So in order that they might be irreproachable. Now it's got a masculine ending here because it's a compound adjective, and so it's only two termination. Eidetis ton ideon kai malista oikeon u pronoe ten pistin aunetai kai estin apistu keron. If someone, where's the verb? U pronoe, no, this is from pronoio, to give thought to, or give thought for, give thought on behalf of, for the pro. So if someone does not give thought on behalf of his own, and especially of his own household, he has denied. This is a perfect from aneomai. If you're looking it up, it's that aneomai, deponent middle, to deny. This is the perfect here. He has denied the faith and is worse, keron apistu, than an unbeliever. So this is that comparative keron from kakos keron. So he is worse than an unbeliever, genitive of comparison. Kera katalegesto me elaton eton hex akon ta gegon huia, henos andros gunei, en ergois kalois marturumene, a teknotrophesin, a ex edokesen, a hagion podas enipsin, a thlibomenois, ep arkesin, a panti ergo agatho ep a coluthesin. Now this is a slightly complicated couple of verses here. This is from catalego, to enroll. It's a cognate with our word catalogue, but it's the idea of enrolling someone. In 5th century Athens, young men had to enroll as citizens. This is the idea of enrolling. So it's an imperative passive here. So let a widow be enrolled. Now this is a perfect feminine participle from ginomai, so it's kos quia, is the feminine, without the kappa of course here, from ginomai, so it's just being, having reached. So let a widow be enrolled, not being less than 60 years. So she has to be over 60. So let no widow be enrolled who is less than 60 years. the gune, the wife of one man, henos andros, marturumene, something like it's being witnessed to, so it's something like being attested and then by her good works, that instrumental use of en here. So being witnessed to by good works or in her good works, if she has reared her children. This is a verb from teknon, you can see here in tropheo. So if she has reared her children, if she has, well, literally received strangers, so given help to strangers, it's a verb, it's an aorist formed from xenodokio, the doc connected with decami, to receive. So if she has, well, might say shown kindness to strangers, perhaps received strangers. A xenodokaion in Greek is like our modern hotel. It's a place where strangers, which welcomes strangers. So if she has shown welcome to strangers, and if she has washed the feet of the saints, and if ep kesen, this is from ep archeo, if you're looking it up, and the epsilon doesn't lengthen here. So if she has given assistance or has relieved or looked after, it takes a dative, the afflicted. So if she has given assistance to the afflicted, and if ep a koluthesen, if she has literally followed after, so devoted herself to, I think we've seen that word before in this work, if she has devoted herself to each good task. Neoteras dekeros paraitu, but keep away from, reject. This is probably reject in the sense of not enroll. So reject young widows, that is, don't enroll them. For hotan katas straniasosin to Christu gamein thelusin ekusai krima hotitain proton pistin arthetesan hamade kai agai man thanusi peri kominai tas oikias umonon de agai ala kai fluoroi kai periergoi lalusai ta me dionta. So again, a difficult thing here. So it's reject, probably from enrolling the younger widows, for whenever. Now this again is a very rare word. It's from kata straniao, and I think that this is the first time it appears in any Greek. You do get in classical Greek straniao without the kata. It's in Middle and Late Comedy, meaning to be wanton or to live luxuriously. The word does occur again in Revelation, probably coined here. So it has the sense of they feel sexual desire against, and then it's taking against with the kata, and it's taking a genitive. So it's, I think I've translated as something like, when their sexual desires overcome their commitment to Christ. So when their sexual desires act against Christ, they desire to marry. Now remember, the sense here is that the widows are being enrolled in a list of people who intend to remain widows, but he's saying here that the younger women, when they feel the impulse of sexual desire, then they turn against their vow towards Christ, and they wish gamein to marry, ekusai, having condemnation, so they almost receive condemnation, having condemnation because, this is from arthetio, they have put aside their first pistin, not religious faith, I think, but in the sense of pledge. Pistis can also have that more classical meaning of pledge. So they've put aside their first, classical Greek would have had proteron here or something, or proterein. So their first pledge, their earlier pledge, that is their pledge to remain a widow dedicated to Christ. Hamadekai Argai, I think I read that bit. Yes, I read that bit there. So at the same time also, now the Argai is alpha privative plus the erg root, meaning not doing anything and hence idle. Some people suggest, I think the modern translations tend to supply ani here and translate this at the same time also they learn, understand to be idle. Well, that's possible. It could simply be slightly more complicated, that at the same time also being idle. Well, manthanusin, they learn things, they gather information or gossip. So you can take it either way. So either at the same time they learn, understand to be idle, if you want to take it that way. Periokomenai, going around the houses, but not only idle, but also fluoroi. Now you get the verb fluario, to talk nonsense. So they babblers, this would be. Kai periergoi, this is a word, well, it means, it has the sense of doing lots of things, but it isn't the sense more like busybodies or interferers. So busybodies. Now both of these are two termination adjectives. This isn't a compound, but it is two termination, and this is a compound, it's two termination. So they're busybodies, speaking the things that are not of any use. Ta me dionta, speaking things which are of no use, where there's no need. Boulamai un neoteras gamein technogonein oika des potain Maidemion aformain didanai to antichaimeno loidarias charin. I wish therefore for young women to marry, to produce children, technogonio, oika despotan, to rule the house, to be in charge of the house, and to give no afhormain, no opportunity to the adversary, to the one opposed to them. That's just a word often meaning the adversary. Charin is being used in that classical sense, followed by a genitive, and it comes after the genitive, so it's something for the sake of slander. Afhormain occurs elsewhere in the New Testament. It's actually originally a nautical term. It's from apo plus hormao, is to set off. It's like a ship setting off. And it's often used in the sense of starting point, often used in the sense of an opportunity. So just to do that bit again, I wish therefore the young women to marry, to bear children, to look after the house, and to give no opportunity to the adversary for the sake of slander. It's charin plus the genitive. It's good classical usage actually. Eidega tines exetrapesen opiso, on the next page is to satana. For then for then certain ones, this is a passive here, are turned aside after to satana. We get that Doric genitive satana. This is actually an old genitive ending with these alpha nouns. It's sometimes called a Doric genitive. So for then certain ones have been turned aside after Satan. Eidetis piste eke keras ex arceto altais kaime baresto he ecclesia hinatais ontos kerais ep arcese. So if some faithful woman has widows, that is, presumably is looking after widows, so if some believing woman is looking after widows, let that be, or let her assist them. That's that eparchio we've had before, and we're going to get it here. So let her, it's agreeing with this piste, so let her look after them, and let not the church be burdened. So this is a passive imperative here. Let not the church be burdened, in order that it, that is the church, might assist or help the true widows. So if some faithful woman is looking after the widows, let her look after them, and let not the church be burdened, in order that it may assist or help those who are truly widows. And that's the first part of chapter 5.